I'll take it.
Jan Logie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And in this contribution, I'd like to speak to the changes in relation to ACC compensation payments, which are in Clause 5 of the bill, and also specifically to SOP number 56 and some of our concerns around that. So in relation to ACC, at present, benefit payments are deducted from weekly ACC compensation payments on a dollar-for-dollar basis. However, a loophole was discovered through a case that went in front of the Social Security Appeal Authority, which revealed that in law, weekly compensation paid directly by employers accredited with ACC should be treated as income and therefore deducted from benefits at a different and more favourable rate. So this bill is seeking to remove that anomaly and bring the compensation abatements back to dollar-for-dollar basis on a retrospective basis. So it's seeking to retrospectively validate work and income's misapplication of the law. And this will result in someone who has been on a benefit while working part-time suddenly having their benefit reduced to zero after an injury that entitles them to access ACC. And I would just like this House to dwell on that for a moment, and I'm sure the number of stories and letters that you get into your office or people coming into your office to talk to you about the struggles they're having with ACC or the struggles that they're having to be able to survive on a benefit or negotiate between those two systems, and reflect again that this legislation will result in somebody who's been on a benefit while working part-time suddenly having their benefit reduced to zero if they find they're entitled to any ACC after an injury. And I would suggest to this House that this is again mean-spirited and cruel and increasing the level of hardship for some of the most vulnerable people in this country. And I doubt any of us would want to be in their situation. And in some ways that's possibly a test in terms of legislation, is if we were in the place of the people that this legislation is applying to, would we want to be in their situation? Would we feel that we were able to manage in their situation? And I would suggest to this House that we wouldn't, and that we possibly, most probably couldn't manage in those situations. So the Greens are certainly opposing this, these amendments. And to speak specifically to SOP 56, which we also find quite problematic, because what it will do is provide a less generous residential qualification for New Zealand super and welfare benefits than is provided under the current interpretation of legislation, and to do so retrospectively, dating back to the 23rd of June 1987. This is in response to another Social Security Appeal Authority decision which interpreted the current Section 79 of the Social Security Act in a more generous manner than had been and is MSD practice. The new proposed Section 79, which reflects past and current MSD practice, will apply retrospectively, except in the case of people who had filed proceedings before the 6th of July 2013. And the only person in this category likely to be the successful appellant in the Social Security Appeal Authority case that this amendment is in response to. So it's quite a bizarre situation, really. And another example, it would seem to me, of this House spending time fixing up some degree of incompetence, and also penalising the people in the most vulnerable situations in this country. And it also amends Schedule 6, Mr Chair. Mr Chair.
Meka Whaitari.
Tēnā koe, Mr Chair, tēnā tātou katoa. Mr Chair, I'm happy to take a short call on the Social Security Amendment Bill number 3. I guess not being a member of the Select Committee, but probably more importantly, as a mother of 2 teenage sons about to enter university next year, I feel it's probably appropriate that I get up and make a contribution. Mr Chair, I'd like to talk specifically around section Papers for Africa, Mr Speaker, section 61EA of the Act, which ensures that students who would be eligible for assistance of a student allowance, including its extra accommodation component, but who choose not to apply for that assistance, would be excluded from receiving the accommodation supplement. Mr Speaker,